Alright, here's our video today. Dividing polynomials. Algebra 2. So let's get a clean board. So let's get a problem. So let's say we had x plus 3. So we know that's a binomial, right? It has two terms. And we'll divide it. Make our division bar there. We'll divide it by, let's say, 2x cubed. There we go, fit the cubed in there. Plus x squared minus 11x plus 12. And we'll extend the line. And we're going to do this just like division. In a way. So you're going to look at this and you look at the first term right here. We'll just use another color. First term right in here in the divisor. Remember, this is the divisor. As we have some kind of drone going by. And we know that this part under here, little arrow, is the dividend. And you know this. So we want to know, how could we multiply this term, this x, to get this first term here? So x times what is 2x cubed? Well, it would be 2x squared. Right? So, because if you do 2x squared times x, you'll get 2x cubed. Right? And we'll put this in parentheses. And we want to minus this. Now, the next thing you want to know, we'll do this slowly, is now we have this 3, we also have to multiply the second term right here. And 2x squared plus 3 is 6x squared. So that's our first step. And go back if you need to. See how we did it. So if we minus this, we know that these two will cancel because a positive and a negative will cancel out, right? They will cancel. But remember, we're minusing, right? And so remember with the signs, when you do subtraction, you change all the signs. So that's a minus. And this becomes a minus, so we'll change the sign. So now it's just a minus, not a plus. And so if we put a line under here, we're going to get negative 5x squared. Because x squared, because remember there's a 1 there. Invisible, but it's there. And then we're going to bring down the negative 11x. Should use a different color. Go back to yellow. So then we do it again. We do for the second step. We do again. We want to get now negative 5x with the x. What do we need if we have an x to get negative 5x squared? If we multiply it, and we need negative 5x. And we'll multiply those two, the first term and the second term. Negative 5x times x, that's going to give us negative 5x squared. And of course, negative 5x times 3 will give us negative 15x. Put a line. We're subtracting. Remember to change the signs. That becomes a plus. That becomes a plus. That becomes a plus. And we know this. We know about changing the signs, right? And so what do we get? Well, now, since we have a plus, we're going to have 4x, and then we'll bring down this 12. Just like division. Just like division, just has these variables in it. And we keep going. Now we're at third step. So why don't you try the third step? Pause the video, see what you get. Alright, so we need to get 4x, but we have x already. So all we need is plus 4. 4 times x is 4x. And 4 times 3 is 12. And of course we're minusing, so we change all the signs. That becomes a plus, plus, minus, minus, and you get 0. So that's the answer, 2x squared minus 5x plus 4. Let's do another one so you get used to it. So what if we had, let's say, x cubed plus x squared minus 18x minus 3, and we're going to divide that by x minus 4. So we know that x minus 4, that's the divisor, and the first one we did, x cubed plus x squared minus 18x minus 3 is the dividend. So we'll rearrange it, and why don't you pause the tape and see what you can get. Right, so if you pause the tape, we know we can rearrange this, x minus 4 divided by, well, x minus 4 is the divisor, and we'll put this in the box, because this is the dividend. And we just divide, like we normally would divide, right? So how can we get x cubed if I have x? Right, with this term, well, x squared, right? X squared times x is x cubed. And x squared times negative 4 is negative 4x squared. So we had our first one, our first step, and we're minusing it. And again, don't forget we have to change the signs. So that becomes a plus, a minus, and a plus. So this cancels out. That's a plus over there. So we have an x squared plus an x squared, a 4x squared, so we're going to have 5x squared, and bring down the negative 18x. Now how can we get 5x squared if we have an x? We need a 5x. And 5x times x is 5x squared. And 5x times negative 4 is negative 20x. And of course we're minusing. And we're going to change the sign. Plus, minus, plus. This cancels out. So now we have a negative 18x plus a 20x, so it's going to give us 2x. And we'll bring down that 3, minus 3. So now we need a 2, not the x, because we already have an x. So 2 times x is 2x. And 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. And of course, what do? We change the signs. Plus, minus, plus. This cancels out, and we have a remainder now. We have a remainder of 5. And that's it. So we'll just say remainder 5. And that's how we do dividing polynomials. That's our video today.